Yeah, Universal, like a cartoonish villain, has cut the trees to not let. Wait, what? Did you see that Universal, like a cartoonish villain, has cut the trees to not let the strikers have shade while they're striking, while violating a lot of tree laws? Really? No way. That's just so blatantly evil. Wow. Yeah. Universal Pictures cut the trees in order to take away their shade. Oh my god. That's just so evil. Like they're not even hiding it. Like they're literally saying that they're waiting for them to start losing their apartments and their homes. And now they're cutting the trees in order to make sure that they're like much less comfortable. That's wild. That's just so wild. Those look trimmed, mate. What's called pruning. And yeah, you can't just do this on like a public property. You need permission. So I imagine they'll probably get in some trouble, like with a fine, but that means nothing to them. Yeah, it looks like they're going for the heat stroke strat. Yeah, but you're still gonna watch Universal's movies, brother. What movie? They're having to cancel like every production. All of the writers are on strike and the actors coming up. What movies am I watching from Universal? They've got nothing coming out pretty soon. Oppenheimer? Hey, I said soon. Of course, they still have a couple that are done before the strike. But pretty soon they're going to lose like all of their shit. They won't have anything on the horizon. Is the resub pretty? If they're doing this, it's probably because they're bleeding money and don't want to cave. Oh, what? No. Not at all. Well, actually, no. Universal might not be doing super hot. Well, hold on. Actually, I'm going to check. But no, it's just. The reason is obvious. They make a lot more money by not paying what the writers deserve. Yeah. No. They. Do they? Where's the reports here? Hold on. I'm looking for something in particular. It just keeps giving me overall. Universal owns Warner Bros. Though, right? Or are they separate? No, they are separate? Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if Universal was in the whole Warner Bros. Thing with Discovery or not. For some reason, I thought they were. Yeah, so they're down 13%. So they're not like struggling. They could absolutely just cut back on a little bit of those huge numbers at the top of the food chain. 13% is pretty big though. I mean, it's not small, but it's not like we're going under. Especially considering that their revenue was increasing so rapidly up until right there. Well, actually, in fact, no, they're still. Are they down? The article's like contradicting itself down here. Then they're saying that their revenue still increased 23% for the fiscal year. If these writers get what they. If these writers get theirs. If these writers get their do get, they just do. They better write absolute masterpieces. That was so hard to piece together. That was like a riddle. Here, even if they don't write absolute masterpieces, they should still be compensated fairly. For example, I bet you're not the best worker at your job, but I still think you should be paid for your work. Not the hottest take in the world, man. There's going to be good writing, there's going to be bad writing, but they do a job and should get paid for it. Better writers will get paid more. Their pedigree will speak for itself. That's just usually how it goes. But they should all be paid correctly, compensated fairly. Comic-Con gonna be dead this week. Oh, is Comic-Con this week? That's rough timing. Sad how people don't realize writers are literally the backbone of every movie. I think they do, but it's really easy to just blanket statement all writers are bad based on like shitty writing. Because there is a lot of shitty writing, obviously. But that doesn't mean that they don't deserve to get paid. Or that all writers are useless. It's fucking dumb. It's like stupid, like actual smooth brain nonsense. These are prime barrels. Tell us about the good writing? What do you mean? Think of like every movie you like. There's a level of good writing to it. Writing isn't just always dialogue, brother. Writing is like the whole thing. So even like writing for action, there's a whole list of things writers have a big hand in, and it's not just dialogue that you might find cringy. How much do you think they deserve versus how much they get paid now? Well, that's not for me to say, man. I don't know what the cost of living in California is. I imagine it's super fucking high. In fact, I know it's super high. And I don't know what the average salary is. Last I saw was like $60K or something. I can't remember for like a writing position. I don't know. But it should scale with how the industry has, because everything else has gone up. And streaming being so prevalent with no streaming no streaming compensation at all is very archaic. Disney had to have the park actors come in for a recent red carpet because the actual actors refused to show up. Writers only make $65K a year if they have experience of 5 years or more. Oh, maybe I was looking for like an average veteran writer salary. Writers should be paid a percentage of what they help sell. Well, that's apparently a normal thing, right? It's the profit sharing. That's apparently something that does happen in other aspects of the industry, but not for writers. And I think that's something that they'd want to like negotiate on to see if those are some options for like streaming, since streaming is so new and they haven't bothered changing anything as that's grown. But I think it's something that they want to talk about, like with residuals. Weird to think that broadcasted television will eventually go extinct. Can't wait for that day. I don't know how often you guys watch like TV broadcasts, but it's bad. It's fucking yucky. That'll be a good day. That'll be a celebratory day. Everyone agrees Hollywood is evil, Charlie included, yet keep white knighting the writers like they aren't part of that. What? White knighting the writers? It's a matter of just getting paid fairly. That's an element of Hollywood being evil. Them absolutely shitting on the writers without giving them fair compensation. That is a component of the evil. What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some bad writers out there, like bad people who are writers. Just like there's bad people in every industry ever. Did the writing get worse over time due to lack of compensation? I bet that actually did have a role to play in it. Right now, it's like overwork all your VFX teams so everything looks like shit, and pay the writers actual popsicle sticks. Well, and a lot of times the VFX team as well. So yeah, they're probably not like super motivated. I think that would be a large reason. There's also been like this shift to just follow formulas because it's safer. So I imagine it's also the higher ups squashing things that deviate too far from a formula. Why don't you articulate what they're asking for it? Fair pay is ambiguous and lazy to fill a YouTube video with? I thought I laid it out. Fair pay is something I think everyone should understand. But I did still lay it out deeper than that. Stop training AI on their work without their permission to try and replace them with AI. And also, now that streaming has popped off, actually address that so that way they can properly share with the writers as this industry has grown, so that way they get compensated with some of the the splitting. So they're not just shafted. Like all of that was super easy to understand. I don't think there's any benefit to going into what each and every writer is looking for specifically from the union. I think it's a lot easier to understand as a complete layman. They're not being paid properly for the work they do. They want to be paid properly for the work they do. Streaming has grown so much and it has not been addressed in any of their pay. Their pay has not scaled in like the last 10 years. It's only gone down actually, which makes no sense. And AI. The upper echelon of the Hollywood vampires is constantly trying to replace them all with AI, and they're just trying to not let that be the case. Like, hey, let's work together with the AI. Instead of just, you replace us because it's cheaper. It's all super simple. I don't know, it's just, I don't think it's like a hard thing to understand. I just don't understand how normal people, like everyone in chat right now I think is a normal person. I doubt any of you are like super celebrity, multi-billionaires. Like I doubt any of you are like massive corporate leaders of a Fortune 500 company. I don't know how anyone sitting here is like, actually, Bob's right. We should trim those trees so the strikers can suffer heat stroke because they're wanting too much money from us. I think that makes sense. They shouldn't be paid more for their work they do. I just don't understand how that happens. I don't get it. It's not a take anyone disagrees with, it's just that everyone deserves fair pay, not writers. Absolutely. It's just this right now is who's striking for the fair pay. You know who else is striking? UPS. Didn't UPS workers just go on strike? I think, unless I'm misremembering. Yeah, UPS strike. Everyone deserves fair pay, man. It's just this is currently who's striking, so it's who we're talking about. And UPS just went on strike 12 hours ago. I don't remember what they're striking for. I don't know if it's fair pay. Theirs might have been something different. Fair pay is a joke. Okay, when you get a job, you can ask for less than you're worth. That's fine, man. I don't really care. If you don't want to be paid fairly, compensated fairly for the work you do, I don't care, man. Just say, you know what, don't pay me. I'll work here for free. That's totally up to you, man. I bet you'd be a great worker.